Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Where in the World is Juliet? I'm out of the hospital. It's been an interesting ride. I have some surgeries that are ahead of me. But it is what it is, right? So let's talk about Satan's little season. A lot of people are thinking that we're in pre-tribulation, right? We haven't had the rapture yet. We haven't had the rise of the Antichrist. I think these things happened already. An example, I heard one person say that Jesus wouldn't tell a lie, right? So Jesus told his disciples that they would come before the end of his lifetime, their lifetime. Well, that would have been maybe under Nero, right? The Emperor Nero from Rome, where he was putting the Christians in the Colosseum, bathing them in blood, torturing them to death, these horrific things which we know we would see during tribulation. And then hold on. Constantine, again, accepted Christianity. I question that now. Because the Emperor Constantine, he accepted Christianity, but then he turned all the holidays, all the pagan holidays, into the Christian holidays like Christmas and Easter. And Easter and the eggs and the bunnies and all of that is about Ishtar, pagan god. Yes. Some suggest that Ishtar is the Statue of Liberty. I don't know. I also think that the Statue of Liberty looks a lot like the painting of Lucifer, with the crown on the head and the facial features. And then I was surprised to learn that there is a chain around Lady Liberty's foot that was broken. So I believe that was Satan's being unleashed. And Tartaria would have been Jesus' 1,000-year reign. That's all this fantastic architecture that we look at, and all these amazing buildings and cathedrals, and some really interesting things like on Notre Dame, the stained glass window in the front, the round stained glass window, actually represents a frequency. And it was like a healing frequency. Some have suggested that they were even power supply somehow. Anyway, so if we are in Satan's little season, it would explain why everything is so satanic, right? This would have related to the Cabbage Patch children, which I'll get into it in a different video, from the 1800s, and the child labor. If I'm right, the first generation of clones would not have had empathy or feeling. They wouldn't have been able to procreate. And there are some really bizarre articles from the 1800s that, like, one doctor talks about he developed like an incubator system where he can grow the children faster. So like if you have children in this incubator under these certain conditions, in a year you can turn them to 4. You can raise them that quickly. But they referred to them as monstrous creatures and screaming monstrous beings, and they seemed annoyed by the children. There was no empathy and like no thought process. Like, these people didn't understand what it was like to be a child. And again, this is like early, mid 1800s. And we'll get into a lot of other things that relate to that time period too. It really changed everything. So I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Okay, as I said, I believe Jesus' kingdom was Tartaria. It was worldwide. These mansions were everywhere. They turned them into the lunatic asylums, which I think may be the remnant that was left, that didn't fully accept Jesus, so they didn't go with him at the end of the 1,000 years. And then they added 1,000 years. There's all this photographic evidence that shows that there were buildings, and chiseled into the building was like I-850, right? But now the photographs of the same building, it says chiseled out as a 1. So 1850. And I believe that they added 1,000 years, and then there's all this screwed up history in it. And then I think it was almost like a Yahtzee thing, because they don't want us to know the truth. We're not allowed to know the truth. And so they would, think of a game of Yahtzee with all of the dice, and just like, oh yeah, okay, that's how we're going to do it. Like the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, that's how there's a lot of suggested evidence that some of those ages didn't happen. And then I'll get into the World's Fairs and how they relate to all of this in another video. I'm going to try and keep the videos relatively short. You're welcome to do a ton. There's a ton of other people who are covering Satan's little season. But in Revelation, when it talks about the tribulation, then it talks about Jesus' return. He's here for 1,000 years with his disciples, with his people. And at the end of the 1,000-year period, they kind of leave, and Satan is unleashed. And it says that he is unleashed to walk to and fro across the planet. Well, I think that that's what we're seeing. I think that we're seeing the... well, there's so many things I'd like to get into, but it's a little early. Anyway, so when you look at what's going on, I don't know whether we're waiting for the rapture or waiting for the final return. And I've heard some people suggest that the final return of Jesus is the Christ consciousness, which would be in all of us, which is why they hate us, right? Which is why they hate children. The younger they are, the closer they are to God, right? And Jesus told us, you harm one of those children, you'd be better off to take a millstone and pull it around your neck and throw yourself into the ocean. So this is just one short video I'm doing here. It's like 7 minutes. I'm gonna ask that you guys could pray for me. I've been getting some really bad medical news, and really bad medical news. And it doesn't mean anything necessarily, but I'm still very weak, and I have a lot that I have to take care of. And I guess the only thing I know to do at this point is ask for prayer and go on things that will support my body, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm sorry it was so long, and welcome to all the new subscribers. Holy cow. I mean, I was so suppressed on the last channel, which was CAG News Network, and this was the second channel after they took that one down, because that would have had a lot of the videos of me fighting Broward schools. I did a lot of videos covering that because I was just trying to protect the children. So I'm going to load this video. I'm going to shoot a couple more videos, but I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do, and I'm not going to be able to guarantee anything because I'm really weak. I mean, I'm having a hard time even trying to take care of myself right now. And there's been a lot going on. So I would really appreciate prayers for the healing of my body, and that the med beds are coming soon. Been waiting for them for some years at this point. And yeah, I could really use it. Also, please keep in mind, silver is starting to go crazy. We haven't even seen it go crazy like it's supposed to yet. If you can get your hands on some silver, you want to do that. Gold is going crazy too, but it's like $4,200, $4,300 an ounce now. And you just want to prepare, because I think we're looking at the greatest wealth transfer in human history, and you want to get yourself your share. So I will see you on the next video, and thank you so much to all the new subscribers.